Hello, welcome to a Fantasy Grounds Unity preview video for the Dragonlance Shadow of the Dragon Queen adventure module by Wizards of the Coast. My name is Doug Davison. I'll be walking you through some changes with the current version of Dragonlance that we'll be showing off today. There are a couple of new features that we'll be kind of highlighting and some changes on how we're doing this module versus how we've done some previous modules. Some of them will be the same as other modules, so you'll see from there. So the first thing you'll do is you'll go to your modules and then your activation, and then you're going to search for Dragonlance. All your purchase modules will show up there, and then you'll want to click on the load button, and it will add it into the library here on the right hand side. You see I also have the core rules loaded with the Monster Manual, Player's Handbook, and DMG. Those are not necessary for this particular adventure. The modules and the monsters that are used within the adventure are included automatically. So you'll notice that there is a player version and a non-player version. The reasoning for that is that if we look at the reference manual here, you'll see that it basically has an introduction to the world of Krynn, about the gods that are available for people to worship or they will be familiar with, and then it has some character creation options here that you might want to share this with the players once they connect to your game so that they can kind of go through and read about the different races and organizations that they might interact with throughout the game. They can also use that to build their characters with the appropriate background and so forth. When they actually create their character with the character wizard, they will want to have this module loaded so that they have the options to make characters of these types here. Another change that we have is that in addition to the modules here, we have the main module. You notice that there's no story entry. So if you go to story here, you'll see that sometimes there will be other options that will show up here, like for different adventures that you may own. There will not be one for Dragonlance, however, because this will show up in your reference manual here. You'll just go to Dragonlance, select it, open your reference manual, and now you've got the entirety of the GM stuff, which is basically chapter 2 through chapter 7 here, plus the appendices. So as an example of what this looks like, you can kind of look through and read this much like you would a book. You've got the navigation links down below, and it'll be styled appropriately with some nice kind of built-in images and so forth. Wherever you see images, you can click on that to pop that image out, and then you can right-click and say share that with the images, share that with players. You can use the zoom to fit button to kind of expand it to fill whatever size window you want prior to sharing that out if you so choose. If I go down and show some other areas, let's find maybe some with a map. So there will be some spoilers while I'm showing this off, so if you are a player, you may want to avert your eyes for a moment. But here you've got, this is an area where there's a cave, and then it has the story elements, and you'll see here it has a link to the image for the map. And so once I look at the map, I'll expand this out a little bit more here. You can click to open up the map. Let's actually use Control, click drag to make it bigger, and then here I can expand that out and unlock it. So on the map, you'll see that there are multiple layers. So here are the way the maps are in the book. It has the labels here. It has the quicksand in this particular case labeled here, and it has another label that says that this goes to the surface. We've already done the map and the lighting, so it does have some lighting in this area. Line of sight is on. If you want to see what the players view, the players will see this, but they will not, however, see these areas which are marked as visible to GM only. So the tags, the room tags, the surface, and the quicksand, so these you could turn off individually. So if you wanted them not even to show up on yours, this is how the player will see that particular one. If you want to see what it looks like for players, they'll see this image, and then the GM will see this image here. So that's how a lot of the maps have been redone within the module. And that's true across, the board for all of those. Let's see. So again, as an example, so this map here, if I expand this out some more and unlock it, you'll see I've got the tags here also, and then I could basically hide the tags or show the tags. You also have the links, just like the push pins that we're familiar with from before. Let me actually get a little bigger. So all of these rooms, you can click on those and it has those that will pop up. They'll be linked in with the encounter, with the NPCs that you may encounter in that room pre-placed on the map at their starting location. You'll use that exactly like you do before. The other things you'll notice is that when I use this here, it pops this entire page out for me, which is the same as if I was to navigate here, except now I've got the navigation off to the side. You can use the this button here to make that room bigger, to collapse the navigation should you so choose. If you want to make modifications to this, like let's say you wanted to customize and make something different occur in this room, you could just use the unlock button, and then now you can edit it and modify it. You'll notice that here that you have the ability to add additional text blocks, 2 column text blocks, a header block, image block, one with a text on the left, image on the right, and vice versa here. So if I was to add that here, I could just add additional content here. You can copy and paste, from one section to another section. You can go to your assets, and you can, drag and drop assets directly. So like say if I wanted to throw, this image here, I could drop that in here. Or you could go to your, if you wanted to pop out, you could go to your images here, and then I could drag and drop, something there, for instance, from any of my resources. So this is how you would basically edit that, and then when you're done, you just lock it back, and now you're all set, ready to go. So you can continue to customize this just like you could a story entry. And if you wanted to pop this page out and save it for later, like let's say you wanted to refer to this at some point later in the game, or you wanted to prepare some common locations that you might encounter during your game session, you could just drag those down here, and then when you're ready, you can pop them up. Or, these can be linked on a map or on a flowchart or anything else that you wanted to use to kind of help manage your campaign. That's true for all of these. Any of these pages, you could just pop out and then put them down below into the short key bar. Anything that you could do with the story text, you can basically do with these new ones. The only difference really is that they have additional functionality. So they have the ability to have images embedded directly inside, alongside all of the other type of box text, that sort of stuff. And then you could add framing around stuff. So as an example, again here, let's say that this section here, I really wanted to highlight it and make it visible. So here I could say, okay, well, let's put that inside of a call out frame. So now that's styled it like so. If you wanted to change it to something else, you could click on here and give it a different kind of a frame, modify it any way you want, just to really kind of break sections apart to make it more easy to read as you're kind of working through the system. If you don't want a frame, you just select the upper left, and then you're good to go. All of the monsters within the module also have been modified a little bit so that you have, say for instance, the red slide. So this is the same red slide from the monster manual, with the only real difference being that we've now modified it so that the image, he has this transparent image here. And so instead of having a background and being a JPEG, he's now usable in its own capacity. So where that may come into play is if you were to grab, let's grab, for instance, I'm going to go to my assets, and I'm going to grab a background. See if I have any suitable backgrounds here. I'm just going to use this one for now. And you can see I've already been kind of playing around with this one, but let me get rid of, let's see, Mr. Archer here. So if you have any kind of a background, or there is a, there's also a background for, there's a background pack that we have available. Let's say we wanted to use this image as a background here. I could now go to my assets, and I could go to, not the campaign, but I could pull up Dragonlance. And here I want not the player's version, but the other version. This will have a list of all of my monsters within it. Alright, so here if I wanted to add, say, an adult black dragon, I could just drop him in. You see he's going to be a little bit too large originally, so let me resize him down. Sorry. Go to this one, select him, grab his handle there. So if you hold down Shift, he'll resize proportionally. So I could put a dragon here, for instance, and now I've got a dragon in my scene that I'm interacting with. And each of these you could do, you know, basically any way you want. You could, sorry, move these people around. Let me lock that. Lock that one, and now I've got this guy. I could put him in the foreground, for instance, and then maybe this dragon in the background here. And let's get rid of these guys. Just remove all. All right, cool. So you can build your own kind of scenes this way, should you choose. So we thought that'll be useful. We have some plans that we're going to do with that on some other stuff down the road. But all of the monsters from here, along with any of the monsters that were used from the monster manual, have been redone with these transparent backgrounds, so you can use them in this capacity. Like I said, we are working on another kind of cool feature that we think will really take that to the next level. So I hope you enjoyed. If you have any other questions about this module, let us know. Please share your feedback on these changes and what you think about them, how we might be able to improve them and make them better for you to use at the table or in your campaigns. And thanks again for watching. Take care.